unintentionally summons a djinn. I cannot do a DesertAthon without reading this book, however many sides you want. DesertAthon, Game of the Books, TBR. Hello lovely bookworms, I'm Esmay from Paradise of Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to a new video. As you could have seen from the title, today is going to be my DesertAthon Game of the Books TBR. I know it's very early, but I wanted to give you an idea of how the board works because I feel like it might be a little bit difficult at times, and I thought it would be nice to already give you an idea. So I have the board, I'm playing it on my iPad, and mind you, I'm so sorry already for the amount of how can you say it, like weird things, weird tap, like the zooming in, that kind of thing, because I have already filmed all of the rolls. I always do that when I film my TBRs. But this is the board. I am super excited to start playing. I do have a couple of things to add before we actually get into the rolls, so I thought I would do that first. And yeah, let's just quickly talk about a couple of those rules. So like I said, before I'm getting into the board, I want to start by saying that I mentioned in the announcement that you can use, or should use, a d6, so a dice with 6 sides. While I think that you can still definitely do that, I am adding the rule that you can use a dice with however many sides you want. Why? Because when I tested it out myself, I got a normal amount of books, but that was because the board was nice to me. Now that I'm doing my actual TBR, I can see that it is a bit more difficult because of the amount of luck you need to get to the end and still have sort of a regular amount of books. And so that's why I'm incorporating the rule of you using whatever dice you want. As for me, I'm going to be using a d6 for the first 4 rolls, which is today. And then I think from that point on, I will be using a d10. I'm not sure yet, depends on how fast I read things, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that is that for new rules. Also, something I am personally doing is, it could happen that you land on a space that says go back to 7, for example, and then you roll from 7 onwards and you get to that one again, and it tells you to again go back to 7. So if you land on the same space, I'm gonna re-roll. You can do it whatever way you want to play the game. Like I said, I want this to be inclusive and nice, but that is how I have done it. And those were basically the rules that I wanted to quickly talk about. So use whatever dice you want, and if you land on the same space a second time, so if you land on a space a second time, you can re-roll if you'd like. So I think that sort of covers everything that I want to say. Like I said, I'm rolling with the d6, and what I will roll with after that. So in my weekly reading vlogs, I will see. So I'm going to be rolling 4 times, and I think I have said enough, and let's just start with the first roll. Alright, hello, welcome to the first roll for a DesertAthon Game of the Books, which is my TBR for May for the DesertAthon. I'm so excited. As I said in the intro, I'm going to roll 4 times, and I'm also gonna basically, it's going to be a bit difficult, but I'm not going to land on the same space again. So if I land on the same space, I'm going to roll again. So let's just start with roll number 1. So there we go. 4. Sorry about that, and I'm on an iPad. I have the prompts here, and so number 4, sorry about that, is red in the cover or on the cover. So that's the first prompt. Okay, so for me, the first prompt was number 4, and that is read a book with red in or on the cover. And if you know me, I don't think this is going to be a big surprise, but I thought I cannot do a DesertAthon without reading this book. This is going to be, I think I'm going to be incorporating this every year from this point onwards, and that is Wrath in the Dawn. I mean, the cover is completely red, so I think it only makes sense. This basically, if you haven't heard me rave about this, because it is a reread for me, and I think I'm reading it for the 7th time at this point, but basically what this is about, this is a retelling of Arabian Nights, and we follow our main character Shahrazad, or Shazi for short, and she basically wants to avenge her best friend who gets murdered by the Caliph, and so she volunteers to become his next bride. And the idea of Arabian Nights or 1001 Nights is that the Caliph, or the ruler of that land, basically kills his brides every single time, and, well, Shazi is very angry about that, wants to kill him, and that's the premise of this book. I love this. It's actually a duology. The second book is called The Rose and the Dagger, and I think it is only fair that I put this one on my TBR. Let's continue on with roll number 2, if this will allow me to roll. There we go. Sorry about that. Roll number 2. 5, meaning that we're going to get to 9. 9 is go back to 7. Great. We're on 7. 7 is a backlist book, so that's very doable. Next up for me is prompt number 7, which is a backlist book, and this one is pretty easy. There's a lot of books on my TBR that are backlist books, and so I'm actually reading a book that was gifted to me. I'm pretty sure I have the gift in here. This one I got from Celeste, and this is the Star-Touched Queen. I'm going to be reading this. I have to say that I don't know too much about this because I'm reading it for the first time. I am super excited for it though. I think this is about like 300 pages in. Yeah. Something with curses? I see now. I'm not going to reread the synopsis because I like going into my books not knowing too much, but this is book number 2. I think this was published in 2017, so definitely a backlist book. 2016 actually. So we're good on that aspect, and I'm very, very excited to get to this. Let's continue on to roll number 3. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm very bad with numbers, by the way, so I hope I'm not messing anything up. But that is 13. 13 is go to 21. So we're going to go to, 21. And what is 21? A cover with fire. All right. I'm very happy about that. I'm also decently far into the board, so I'm happy about that. Alright, so we are skipping ahead. The board was nice for me, and let's hope it continues on that way this month. But we're going to 21, and 21 was a cover with fire. And if you've seen my vlogs from this week or last week, I'm not exactly sure when this video is going up and when I said this in a vlog, but I've shifted around my Game of the Books TBR for April because of the fact that there are certain books on there that I cannot read or want to postpone, and one of those books is this one, and that is Mahimata by Rati Marota. This is the sequel to Markswoman, which I read in March, I think, and considering, I don't know if you can see that, but there's fire on this cover, I thought this would be perfect. The reason why I'm postponing this book is because it is a Desert Vibe book and I want to read it during DesertAthon, so that's why I took it off my TBR for April. This basically, the first book basically follows a girl named Kira. I kept forgetting her name, it was so bad. Kira basically is part of the Order of Kali, and what the Order of Kali is, they're markswomen. I have to say, markswomen, and what these markswomen do, they actually make sure that, how do you say it? That justice is served, I think you can say it like that. And once her mentor is actually murdered, she decides to go on the run because she thinks that someone in her order is actually responsible for her death. And then she goes to the marksmen, and that's where we meet Rustin, I think. Yeah, Rustin, who is the second protagonist. And that's where her story starts. And I am so excited to read the sequel. The first book was absolutely amazing. I gave it 5 stars, and I hope that this one will be just as good, and I'm so excited to read this during DesertAthon. Also, I want to say that I know that I haven't mentioned my TBR for April, so my Game of the Books TBR. The reason for this is that by the time I'm filming this, it's the 10th of April, so I have no idea what I will be able to finish and when, that kind of thing. So I am thinking of doing a January to March wrap up, and I will tell you which books are part of my TBR game in that video, because I cannot tell you whether I'm able to finish all of them. I have to say that there's quite a good chance that I will be able to finish all of them, but I couldn't really tell you because it's so early on in the month, so I'm sorry about that. That's the downside of pre-filming, I think. Or uploading TBRs very early, like I am right now. That said, let's continue on to roll number 4. And the final roll, that is. And let's continue on to the final roll. Let's see. Okay, that's 1. Which is 22. Whoa. Zooming in for... Come on! For extra emphasis. There we go. Number 22. Oh, that's a wild card! There we are. Very happy about that. So we have... Let's see... The final list of prompts are... 22 is actually a wild card, so very happy about that. Number 22. Remember when I said that we were moving across the board pretty rapidly? Well, not with this one. But that is okay. The final one is number 22 for now, and that's where I will be picking up in the reading vlogs once I finish the first 4 books. If I finish the first 4 books. Let's just hope I finish them and we can, you know, keep playing the game. But the final one is 22, and 22 is a wild card, so that is always good. I always like myself a wild card. I am gonna stick, of course, to the Desert Vibe. I'm gonna try and read all Desert Vibe books this month. Let's hope I can. And for that one, it's gonna be a reread, because I'm gonna be rereading this with 2 lovely friends, and that is The Assassin's Curse by Cassandra Rose Clarke. I am so excited for this. I have read this last 2 years ago, I think. This book is also pretty quickly, so pretty quick. And this basically follows a girl who unintentionally summons a djinn, I think it is. And then there's a lot of adventure, basically. It's just a very, very good book, and it's very underrated. And if you want a recommendation, I'm pretty sure I talked about it last year as well in my recommendations video, which I will link on this side. I think there's already, at this point, a recommendation video up, a second one. I'm not sure. If it is, I will link it down below, and maybe also on this side if I'm able to. And yeah, that is the final book. Very excited to be rereading that. I know that these first 4 books, 2 of them are rereads and 2 of them are new. I don't know, I just really want to read them, so it's fine. It's fine. So these are my first 4 books. Let me quickly grab the stack. So I have 3 of the books physically, so these are the first 3, and then I have The Assassin's Curse. I am so excited to start DesertAthon. I cannot wait for it to be May, and I can already feel that I'm gonna attempt and then fail miserably. But we're gonna try it anyway. Please, if you've already established some kind of TBR, let me know what you are reading. I am super, super excited to start reading with you. I would like to mention that there will also be reading sprints and yeah, just reading sprints both on YouTube and Twitter, but there will be more info on that soon. We're not even close to May yet, so... That said, this is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press that little bell icon so you get post notifications every single time that we post. And do let me know what you are reading, if you already know, if you have any ideas. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!